Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 48.7k subscribers. Let's try to get to 50k by election day. Please like this video down below and subscribe to the channel. But before we get started, I have to tell you guys about my friends over at My Patriot Supply. Are you ready for what the future brings? Every day the news headlines get worse. Civil unrest, the second wave of COVID-19, economic collapse, massive suffering, not to mention what Mother Nature will do. The question is, will you be prepared? If you don't already have an adequate supply of long-term emergency food, it's like driving around without wearing your seatbelt, thinking you'll have time to put it on right before an accident. I urge you to build your food supply now because there is no time to waste. And as always, my highest recommendation goes to the company I personally trust and use, and you can too. It's My Patriot Supply, the go-to experts in emergency preparedness. Their mission is your survival, and right now they're knocking off $100 off their ample 4-week supply of delicious, nutritious food that's specially packaged to last up to 25 years. So make sure you don't pass this up. I believe that everyone has a personal responsibility to have at least 4 weeks worth of emergency food on hand at all times, and you can order yours within a matter of minutes. Just go to preparewithreadygo.com right now. That's preparewithreadygo.com. And I will be talking about Trump's Supreme Court justice pick tomorrow. And it could be Amy Coney Barrett. It could be somebody else. Just because the press is reporting that it's Amy Coney Barrett, that doesn't necessarily mean it is. Trump could be trying to fake them out and make them write hit pieces on somebody else and then kind of provide somebody who's not really expected to be the pick. So I bet a lot of money on Lagoa, and I'd advise other people, and if they're still in the betting markets, it's worth putting a little bit on Lagoa or some other people in there, like Joan Larson, just because I think Trump might be trying to pull a head fake with the media. But we'll have to see. It probably is Barrett at this point, but there's a good chance, about a 40% chance it's not, in my opinion, if not more. So I would hedge my bets on the other people because it is a lot of free money if you do get it right at the end of the day. So besides that, I wanted to talk about something today, and I wanted to talk about the right. I wanted to talk about the Republican Party. And a lot of people are very, very naive. I get the comments all the time. They say that Kim Klacik is going to win in Baltimore. That district is a D+30 district or something like that. In the special election this year for that seat, Kim Klacik got roughly 27% of the vote. Best case, she gets around 30%. Is she a good candidate? Would she improve the lives of people in Baltimore? Probably, I would agree that she is a lot better than a lot of the Democrats out there, and she's a good candidate. Do I have anything personally against her? No. But I'm very worried the fact that she's raised, and by the way, it's a lot more than this. This, I think, was before the advertisement. It's probably well north of $1 million right now in this district here. And there's many examples of this. Those hundreds of thousands of dollars spent here, the hundreds of thousands spent in AOC's district, Ilhan Omar's district, it adds up to well over $1 million. And you have candidates out there in actual swing districts that can win, that would be solid, but they are struggling, partially because they can't get the money. I did have Yvette Herrell winning in New Mexico, and I do believe she probably edges it out at the end of the day. Again, this is outdated data. She has raised a little bit more since then, but she could have had a lot more money thrown her way that would have shored up the race for her. It's a Trump, I think like a Trump plus 10 district or something like that, something crazy. But the money's going to other candidates, and it's bringing down Republicans that could easily win in the swing districts. Look at this. This is a huge one. Minnesota's 5th. Lacey Johnson raising more money than Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is the incumbent. It's like a D+50 or some ridiculous number. Ilhan Omar won it like 75 to 25. And I agree that Lacey Johnson probably does better than the Republican challenger last time around, partially because Ilhan Omar does have a lot of haters, and a lot of moderate Democrats might just say, okay, I don't want Ilhan, I'll vote for Lacey. But it's not going to be enough. I doubt Lacey Johnson cracks 35, even with millions of dollars poured into the race. Is Lacey Johnson potentially a good candidate? I mean, he could be. I mean, he's just a standard Republican. These are not going to be stars in the party because they can't win in the districts they're in to begin with. And it's very sad to see a lot of impressionable people's dollars be poured into these races where the candidates have zero chances at winning. That $4 million, if that went to John James, Michigan would probably beat Til Tolinar in the Senate race. That is a lot of money. That can change a swing election, a swing state, a swing district. But in a safe district, it does absolutely nothing. The guy's probably going to get 5% more than your standard Republican will. It's sad to see. And it's not just a problem on the right. The Democrats arguably have it worse in the Senate. Republicans in the House. They're not going to knock off Maxine Waters. They're not going to knock off Karen Bass. Kim Klacik is not going to win. Lacey Johnston's not going to knock off Ilhan Omar. And whoever's in New York 14 has really no chance whatsoever at knocking off AOC. These people would have been knocked off in their primaries. The type of district that they are in is going to reelect them no matter what. Nancy Pelosi actually said it best. A glass of water with their D next to their name could actually win in that district. Is it sad to see? Yes, I don't like people like AOC and Ilhan Omar and other individuals in Congress that are a part of the far left. But at the same time, running Republicans to unseat them is not going to happen whatsoever. Spend your money more wisely. Spend your money in swing districts where candidates are actually struggling to hold on for dear life. If we allocated this money properly, this $5 million, you could say there's probably around $20 million going to candidates that have no shot at winning in the Republican Party. If those dollars were going to candidates in swing districts, Republicans could probably have a much better chance at retaking the House even this cycle. But that's not happening. The grift is strong on the right. But I'm not going to let the left off the hook here. And I'm not saying this to say, oh, if you're on the right, you're a grifter. No, I mean, I'm on the right. I'm just trying to guide my side in the right direction. And Democrats, please keep donating money to Kansas. Please keep donating money to Kentucky. I say that, obviously. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to get at here when I say that. But it's ridiculous, too. Barbara Bollier raising 4 times almost as much money as Roger Marshall. She really has no shot. Maybe it's within 5 or so at a best case scenario, assuming that money is all spent wisely and every stone in Kansas is overturned, because demographically it's going to be extremely hard for a Republican to lose in Kansas. Maybe if it was Chris Kobach because he's not very popular, but Roger Marshall probably has no shot at losing. He was a decently popular representative. He's not a great candidate, but he's not an abysmal candidate either. So you look at the race there in Kansas, Kentucky is terrible as well, and so is South Carolina. South Carolina may be the worst of all when it comes to this, because Democrats really think they have a shot, and then they have the fake polls. Not really fake polls, but the polls in South Carolina that for the past couple of cycles, Republicans are overperforming by like 5 to 10 percentage points, and Democrats are seeing these polls and they're donating to the South Carolina candidate. Lindsey Graham, I'm not a fan of him. A lot of Republicans in South Carolina are not a fan of him, but he has no chance at losing whatsoever. That's just the way it is. For Kentucky Senate here, Amy McGrath is pulling in a lot of money. She's raising, and this was back in May, she had $40 million raised. That's north of 100, you could even say now, especially after the Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing. That definitely did energize Democrat donations, but a lot of them went into the Senate. They weren't exactly donating to Joe Biden. So a lot of that money went to Amy McGrath and Jamie Harrison, and it's kind of wasted on their part too. So if you're a Democrat, please keep donating to these people that have zero shot whatsoever. But you have a grifting problem in politics. People just need to be educated. There are rare instances where you will see Republicans in like deep blue districts win, but they're going to be total rhinos like Charlie Baker. Joseph Cao right here, he won a district in Louisiana. He won a district in New Orleans back in 2008 in a runoff because the incumbent was so terribly unpopular. And he did win, and he actually voted for the first version of Obamacare, I believe. So it kind of shows you that these people are not necessarily the Republican archetype that run and win in these districts. And even so, Cal lost by 20 points to Cedric Richmond, I believe it was, in the 2010 midterms, which were a much more favorable year for the Republicans. So again, somebody like Cal could probably win on a fluke. But these individuals out here, like Lacey Johnson, Kim Klacik, I'm not saying they're bad people. I think they're nice people. I think they're decent candidates, but they're running in the wrong district and sending them boatloads of money, millions of dollars, when we could be spending them to candidates that actually need it, that could actually win. It just kind of shows you that we're kind of in a disarray. Look at the PVI for a district. If that PVI is anything like D+6 or above, the chances are you should probably ignore donating to that candidate. If it is a D+3 and you have a very strong candidate, maybe you do take the gamble there. But I just don't see any of these long shot candidates winning. Upsets do happen, but we're just a lot more polarized than we were back in 2010 when Joseph Cao narrowly won. back in the 2008 runoff there in Louisiana. So we've come a long way since then, and not in a good way. And you have a presidential election turnout this time. There's not going to be any chance at any of these Democrats losing. Nancy Pelosi will hold her seat, Maxine Waters, AOC, Ilhan Omar. It's sad, but it's true. That's just the way it is. So donating to candidates that won't be able to utilize your money to help advance the party's cause, it's just a no-go for me. That's my opinion. Donate to candidates that actually need the money. Even if it is a long shot, but there's a chance, like in Oregon's 4th, that was my hot take upset flip of my House prediction video. Go ahead with that. But donating money to candidates that can't win whatsoever, I wouldn't exactly do that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, become a member, donate to the Patreon, or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.